In this video, we're going to talk about the new Batch API from OpenAI, what it can do and how we can use it. Batch API is ideal when you want to run a lot of requests at the same time, such as running evaluations, classifying large data sets, and getting embeddings for a large amount of context. You can sign up to 50,000 requests to the Batch API to chat completions or the embedding completions, embedding endpoints with 50% lower cost, a bit higher rate limits, and you have about a 24-hour turnaround time, but usually it's faster than that. It's ideal for processing jobs that don't require immediate responses. So if you need to process a lot of stuff in the parallel, but if you don't need it right away, like this is the way to do it. Like I said, it's 50% the cost of the regular calls, whether it's GPT-4 or GPT-3.5, higher rate limits, and fast completion times. If you look at the rate limits, normally speaking, if you're using GPT-4 Turbo, you have these I have, for example, 1.8 million tokens per limit and 10,000 requests per minute, but with Batch, I have 300 million tokens per day. So we're going to talk about how we can create and actually run batches directly from the WebUI, but we're also going to learn how we can do it directly from Python. So let's begin. If we actually look at the documentation, which you can find under guides, under batch, you have to prepare your batch file like you would for a fine-tuning dataset in this format. So you can give it custom IDs and stuff like that, and this URL actually is which endpoint you're going to call. So you can access all the models that are currently available. In this example, we're making a call to GPT 3.5 Turbo. And then you just include the messages, such as with the system and your user messages. And you can also set your parameters, such as max tokens here. And that's it. So all you have to do is just create a JSON-L file like this. For example, I have just simply copied it here, which looks like this, into an input.jsonl file. And then here at my platform, OpenAI, I go to batches. And I can create a batch, and I can upload a new file or select from existing files. What I'm going to do is actually go to my folder, select that input.jsonl, and just open it. Or you can simply click drag it, and it will upload. This will be uploaded to your files, which you can see in your storage. The completion window, only 24 hours is available right now. You can select an endpoint. We're going to leave it at completions, but you can actually select embeddings and get embeddings for up to 50,000 document chunks all at the same time. And then that's all we do. You click on create. It's going to validate, and then it's going to move on to a processing state. And while this is validating, I've done some tests. My previous tests were completed in about 3 hours, but I believe it's guaranteed to be completed in 24-hour. And so you say we just went from validating to in progress. So it's going to stay like this until our batch has been processed. I would like to take a moment to talk about the benefits of becoming a patron. And some of you may know, in the last year and a half, I've spent 3,000 hours, over 300 projects as a patron. You will have access to all the code files so you can get inspiration and iterate quickly. Another benefit is that you'll have access to all my courses, and my most recent and most proud one, the 1000x MasterClass, teaching what I've learned on how to code fast and efficiently. Also the Streamlit course and the Fast API course. In my Patreon, I also have tiers in which you can connect with me one-on-one. Check those out as well. But now let's talk about how we can do this directly from Python. Code files for this project will be available for free at my Patreon, along with all my other projects. Towards the end, I also will include a few-minute preview of how I coded this in 8 minutes. I started a new masterclass called 1000x Developer, in which I share how I actually code using AI tools. So this way we can learn to leverage AI tools to code fast and effectively. So that will be towards the end of the video. Anyway, we define a class called OpenAI Batch Processor, and we're going to have a process batch method, which is going to take in an input file path, which is going to be our input.jsonl endpoint and completion window. And this method is going to upload it using the OpenAI's files.create method for the purpose of batch. And then it's going to define a batch job using the batches method, .create. We're going to use the uploaded file ID, the endpoint, which can be either chat or embeddings, and completion window, which has to be a string, 24H, which is for 24 hours. And then it's going to monitor the batch status. It's going to, since we are going to return a batch job, we're going to continually check the status. As long as it's not completed, failed, or canceled, we're going to for 3 seconds and print the status as I've done previously right here. So when you run this code, it switches to this and it keeps checking until the process is completed. When it's completed, it is going to get the result file ID and it's going to retrieve that. And it's going to first save it to a file. It has to be WB actually, because the result that is returned is a bytes object, bytes like a text file. So we write that and then we have to open that after defining an empty list, go over the file and load each line, because it's going to look very similar to this, except we're going to have assistant responses here, which are the responses from the batch API, and it's going to return the results. If anything else fails, we're going to print a fail message with the status. So here we just initialize our API key either from environment variables or manually from the code. Define our processor. Take the input file path, in this case input.jsonl, specify our endpoints, which is chat.completions, completion window is 24H, and then just run it. And at the end, it should print the results too. Mind you that if you run the script, let's actually run it so you can see it's going to create a batch process. And it's going to continually check it. This batch process can take up to 24 hours, so your script may be running for up to 24 hours, as you can see. Now, if you go back to our batches, this is the one we have created from the WebUI, and this is the new one, which is just now validating. But if you leave the script running, it's going to continually check when it's done. Hopefully, it should save it to a output file. So this is it. So next, I would like to share with you the first few minutes of how I coded this in 8 minutes. I hope you'll enjoy it if you want to access the full video. The full video will be available at my Patreon at 1000xdev MasterClass. Downloads are attached to the post itself. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of this video as well. Started. So I knew that in the API reference of the OpenAI documentation, I can find the API reference on how to make calls. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it all, including how to upload a file, because we first have to upload our file. So that is all I did. I just copied it and pasted it in Cursor. I am using Opus here, and then here. And then here I'm writing a prompt. You can read it here to actually write a batch class, which is actually also going to check the status of the batch every 3 seconds. 3 seconds is too quick. You probably want to check it every minute or so. And then I wanted to add the example of how to retrieve the code. So I knew that OpenAI Cookbook had it by checking. So I'm trying to find it right here and retrieving the results. So I'm just going to copy this sample code and give it as an example to it too. I'm just hoping that it will create something generic for me to work with. And I do want to specify here that to actually let it use, if you go back here, I do want to specify it to use the OpenAI library SDK for this. I accidentally typed SK, but this is the prompt that we wrote. If I zoom back out a little bit, we'll see. So this is roughly the prompt that I wrote. You can read it. I explained it. I gave it some sample code. So I gave the whole API code, API reference plus some sample code. And then I asked it to use the OpenAI library. And then it returned some code. And I'm just simply going to copy and paste it here. And then I am actually going to check it here. And I realize that it's not being initialized. So I'm letting Copilot actually initialize it. We are initializing the batch processor. We are not dealing with API key just yet. Once we have all our parameters ready for it, then I just went back to the documentation where they have the example